single function video, hopefully helpful. Today we're going to talk about the quantile function, which the quantile function is something that we're going to talk more about quantiles later in the semester, but it's something we can use right now. And so before we can show how to use the quantile function, we have to understand what a quantile is, right? And so what a quantile is a number. If I have a data set, it is the number below which a certain percentage of data is. So a lot of you know what a median is, and a median is a type of quantile, right? So a median is the number exactly in the middle of your data set, right? And so another way of saying that is it is the number that below which 50% of your data is, right? And so we would call the median the 50th quantile because 50% of the data is below it. By the same definition, a quartile, the first quartile, is the point at which 25% of your data is below it. And so that would be the 25% quantile, right? But we can do it any percentage. So let's go over into R here. I'm going to make a new code chunk. And rather than use a data set, let's just make our own set of data. So I'm just going to call this numbers. And I'm going to make this equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And so if I go ahead and run that, now it is stored over here. And if I were to say, hey, show me what numbers is, then it will, I can go ahead and run this and it will say it's the numbers 1 through 10, right? So now I can do things on this. So if I said, what is the median of numbers? It will go ahead and tell me, it will tell me that it is 5.5, right? Because 5.5 is the exact middle, that 50% of the numbers are below and 50% are the numbers are above. But I could do that same thing with the quantile. So if I said quantile numbers and then say 0.5 and run that, I get the same number, right? It's telling me what you asked for was 50%, and that's 5.5 because that is the number below which 50% of my data is. But the nice thing about quantile is more powerful than that. I can put in any percentage. So if I wanted the first quartile, that would be what is the number that the first 25% of the numbers are lower than. And so that would be, I would put in 0.25 here for 25%. And I can run that and it says, hey, you asked for 25%, it's 3.25 because 25% of my numbers are below 3.25. And I can put in whatever I want in here. I could say, if I put in 0.85, I could go ahead and run that, and 8.65 is the number below which 85% of my data is. And so this is why quantile is helpful. It's the number that below which, but you can use it to say, if I wanted to know, if I said, well, what is my top 20% of my data? Well, then I would say 0.80, right? Because that means 80% of my data is below 8.2, but 20% of it is above 8.2. So I can use the quantile to find the bottom percent of my data or the top percent of my data just as easily. And like I said, we created a number set here, but I could definitely go to my loans set here and maybe use, let's see, what do we have? Let's use terms. This is the number of months that someone has to pay back their loan. So if I go back over here and say, instead of numbers, and say quantile loans, $term, and then I say, hey, what is, let's say, 0.30 and run that, then what that's telling me is that of all of the loans that I have in here, 30% of them are below a term of 36 months. Anyway, that is a quick introduction to quantile. It's a powerful thing to figure out where your data is and how much of it is below or above a certain point. You can use it to find medians or quartiles or any quantiles in between. If you have any questions on that, as always, shoot me a direct message. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next video. Enjoy your statistics until then.